We welcome you live to the iCar Pro Series Season number 3 race in Pocono. We're here at the Tricky Triangle tonight, the first ever iCar race ever here, and the first time in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. We've been here since Season 3 of the actual league. I know this is Season 3 of iCar, but last time we were here, iCar didn't actually even exist, so it's the first ever time you're going to see these iCars in the racetrack, and the first time since 2024, if you're counting years, for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. Of course, no Grand National tomorrow, so we're completely off tomorrow for the league. So we got one lap qualifying here coming up after we just wrapped up the warm-up session. Here's Ashton Miller. There's Cameron Chandler also. And then, of course, the Cup Series is on Thursday. So no Grand National this week, just iCar and Cup at Pocono. There's a super late model race this week at Southern National on Friday night as well, so it's going to be kind of replacing lobbies for this week. Here comes Cameron Chandler at the 3 and 4. Not a good race at Rockingham at all last week. Lost a lot of points to Matthew White, who won that race. Matthew's going to be in this one, of course, obviously. He'll be trying to chase down Cameron again for that, try to take the points lead. It's now 18 points only separating those two. Closed down a lot after the Rock. The championship battle is back on with 4 races remaining this season between White and Chandler. Who could have guessed those two drivers would be battling for it? Here comes Jacob Clarino down the front straightaway in 33. There's Cameron Chandler, your 2-time defending series champion. Matthew White always close. Second all-time.
And Cameron Chandler's going to have to start the back because he hit the wall entering turn 1.
Oh, was that on his lap?
Yep, on his first lap.
Oh,
He
wow.
hit the wall entering turn 1.
Of course, you only get one lap here in iCar for every race. There's Knox Thompson. That is, yeah, after how Rockingham went at the end of that race, this is not what he wants to see. A perfect opportunity now for Matthew White. What can the 18 do? Of course, 3 quarters of the Tricky Triangle. It's a triangle, so obviously. I guess technically there's actually kind of 6 because, you know, it's in NASCAR ways. You count like one corner of an oval is 1 and 2. So I don't know why they don't just say there's 6 corners. There kind of is if you think of it that way. But they say there's 3. Christian Urquhart so far top of the road. Cole Clausen is second. Ashton Miller is third. Jacob Clarino is 4th. Here is Bryce Benson in the 9. Has not had great luck during the races. Had a lot of crashes in iCar this season. He's out of championship contention at this point. But he's had good qualifying pace. That's the only thing. What a magical Cup Series season he's had. Matthew 4th. That's not the greatest lap for him. Christian Urquhart's on provisional pole right now. Here's the 17 of Keaton Shelton. Made his Grand National debut last week at Rockingham. Grand National will be back next week in Dover. And here comes Shelton, who's going to blink a little bit through 3 and 4 and down the front straightaway. Of course, like we said, only 4 more iCar races remain tonight at Pocono, next week at Dover, and then we go 2 weeks at Charlotte, and then the finale is at Bristol. Boston is second. Like I said, good lap for him. Here is the 9 of Bryce Benson through turn 2. Oh, he's going to nearly get in the wall through the tunnel turn and down the backstretch one more time. Of course, Pocono Raceway called the Tricky Triangle for a reason. It's very hard to get around here. Such an interesting racetrack. Such a big racetrack, 2.5 miles as well. A super speedway, if you will. And here comes Bryce Benson down the front straightaway to finish up his lap. Golden opportunity for pole. What is going to be across the line? Goes the 9 by half a second nearly. Top of the board. What a lap. I mean, Cameron wasn't able to qualify. Matthew had a characteristically bad lap, but unbelievable. Bryce Benson. I mean, that is the biggest gap in the league that we've seen in an oval all season long. Maybe ever. I've never seen that. I know it's Pocono and it's very large, but I haven't seen that in a very long time at an oval. A road course, sure, but an oval, not really. I mean, even road courses these days, Sonoma for even iCar was closer than that. So
usually you see that big of a difference in the draft, not just a 1 lap with no draft.
I know, that is an incredible lap by Bryce Benson. Nobody's on the racetrack now. That'll put him on pole. What a lap by the driver of the 9. Bryce Benson going to be starting first today. Incredible. A lot of drivers electing not to qualify here as well. So, of course, first ever time the iCar Pro Series is here in Pocono, and we are very excited for this one. Got the Cup Series returning after a season away on Thursday. Nothing tomorrow that we get off. Kind of a short week. kind of a weird week because we have more iCar races than NASCAR iRacing FedEx League races. So a little bit different there. All right. So Bryce spent an unbelievable lap to be on pole. The warm-up session, of course, coming up here real quick. Man, that's shocking. Actually incredible by the 9. All right, Eli, if you want to take a little bit of a ride around here at Pocono Raceway?
Yep, I got you.
You can actually get a good angle on your race car. I don't know really how the camera pack is here. I haven't tested it out yet. All right, there we go.
These straightaways are very important as you have to have very good exits to corner because how long these straightaways are. If you have one back corner, you can lose like 5 spots in one corner. As turn 2 is a very interesting corner. You have to get close to the bomb as you can, like there. So if you go high, you lose so much time going into turns 3, which it's a big corner to go to a long straightaway. As a lot of people go straight to the bottom, I like to take it at an angle, which seems to help with the straightaways. You go all the way to the white line. You just let it ride up to the top of the wall, and you just go get in somebody's draft hand to help with lap time, and then just step on the gas pedal. You can reach up to over 190 miles an hour into turn 1. And then for me, you don't really need to brake a lot, maybe the slightest bit, and get down to that yellow line, which I did not there. But when you exit the corner here, again, exit close to the wall. And I didn't lose too much time with that straightaway, but later on old tires, you're probably losing a little bit of time if you don't get always to the bottom. And then full speed here, turn 2 is a must. If you can get turn 2, you have a chance. As we, again, get to the right line, maybe a little too much, but that's all right. As now we get back to turns 3, maybe not the greatest of laps, but at least we got a lap down from warm up. As we enter turns 3, just, again, we let the arc get down to the right line, the yellow line. Drift up the track and head back on the front stretch.
Thank you, Eli. So he'll come down the front straightaway here to complete a lap at Pocono Raceway, the 2.5 mile racetrack here in Pocono, Pennsylvania, or Long Pond. Pocono, Pennsylvania doesn't actually exist. So, yeah. Actually, this is a little bit of a weird stat, but including Rockingham this week at Pocono, next week in Dover, and then at Charlotte the week after that for the 600 week, these are 4 tracks in a row that I've actually been to and watched races at in real life. Just kind of weird. I mean, it isn't weird. 2 in North Carolina, 2 in Dover and Pocono, kind of close to each other in a way. Well, not really, but in a way. But anyways, the 3 and 4 goes to Knox Thompson with the 48. The only other tracks I've been to are Daytona, been to Darlington, been to Richmond. I think that might be hit. For NASCAR tracks, at least.
Only one I went to was Michigan a couple years ago. Kevin Harvick won a field mileage race. That was awesome.
Kevin Harvick won a lot there in Michigan back in the day. Well, not even back in the day. What am I saying? And here comes the 48 of Knox Thompson. Matthew White so far top of the board. He was a little bit down in qualifying. Of course, Cameron Chandler second right now. Didn't put a single lap down. Luckily for him, a lot of drivers didn't have great laps either, and some of them didn't even qualify. Here comes a Smiley. Oh, of course, Knox Thompson. Juan Cobbs Jr. He's got a Scrub Daddy, I think, on his front end here. Yep. Usually got the Lingo on the car. You see the Lingo bird on the back of his race car, though. Here is Cameron Chandler and Matthew White, your 2 championship contenders. Jacob Clarino, who just got his first ever Grand National win last week at Rockingham. Congratulations to him. Huge win. Great strategy there at the end of the race for his first career win in Grand National. He's been fast this year. We thought it could be coming, but maybe not at Rockingham, and that's soon in the season. Ooh, they were going to catch the back end of that 13 car of Juan Cobbs. And they're going to go 3 wide around him down the front straightaway.
And also, if you go side by side here on straightaways, it's an opportunity for the guy behind the guys keeping going side by side, the opportunity to get a good run entering a corner. especially in this long straight, you can have the opportunity to pass two people entering turn one, and if they go side by side, you could get a slingshot and pass them entering turn one.
I think the front straightaway here at Pocono might be the longest, well, on an oval. Road America, we don't race that anymore, but that was pretty long. But at an oval, might be the longest straightaway that we have, I think, maybe. I've been here in real life. Like I said, it is absolutely massive.
Turn 3 is the biggest corner here because if you have a bad corner, you can go from first to about 10th in one corner if you have a bad turn.
As that will do it in the warm-up session. It's time to race in Pocono. Bryce Benson on pole by half a second. Incredible lap time by him. But we know draft will keep a lot of people in play tonight. It's a massive racetrack. Fans are excited. Only 2 races, though, this week. They maybe were hoping they had a grand national race, but not this season. All right, as we are live, for some reason there's a truck as a pace car. Not really sure why Cameron put that. But anyways, we're live here in Pocono for the iCar Pro Series Season 3 race. Race number 12 of the year from Pocono Raceway. 4 races remain this season. 45 laps tonight from Pocono Raceway. Just over half the distance of the Cup race on Thursday, which is 80 laps. Maybe it doesn't sound like the most at a track like a short track or something like that, but at a track like Pocono, it's a lot. These lap times are probably I think they are they are the longest. They're over 50 seconds. Longest for an oval in NASCAR. I know it's the same distance as like a track like Daytona or Talladega, but they're going a lot slower here than they are at Daytona and Talladega, just because of the corners.
This is also good. This is a good opportunity for the Cup guys racing on Thursday because they're going 80 laps. It's 80 laps for the Cups, correct?
Yeah.
It's a good opportunity to practice for 45 laps for a stage. Because they're going to have stage break at lap 40, so a little longer, but honestly a good opportunity if you do go green for a run up the stage.
Of course, let's go over here. Starting grid real quick. Bryce Benson on pole. Incredible lap by him. Christian Urquhart's going to be starting in second to his inside, or whatever. Cole Clausen will be in third. Ashton Miller going to be starting here in fourth. Matthew White, great week last week at Rockingham. He'll be starting in fifth. Knox Thompson will be starting in sixth today. Clearno, Shelton, Chandler, and then for some reason Cherry isn't on the grid. Neither is Cole Wilson or Kerry Smith. I don't know what's going on there, but we are ready to come to the green flag anyways here at Pocono. Just 4 races remain in the iCar Pro Series season, and Matthew White with Cameron Chandler starting in ninth today has another good opportunity, even though he's just starting in fifth, to gain more points on him after his win last week in Rockingham. But Bryce Benson went a lap for the pole. He will be starting in first.
And also for tonight, we will have to make a pit stop.
What's the fuel window here?
For me right now, it says 32 laps. So we'll probably split it in half.
See if we get any cautions to maybe have not a green flag pit stop in this one. But here we go from Pocono Raceway. It's along Pond, Pennsylvania. This could be a fun one for the iCar Pro Series. Race number 12 of the season, number 3, green flag in the air. We're racing from the Pocono Mountains. Three wide, going already in turn 1. Look at Matthew White on the inside as they head into turn 1 here in Pocono. Benson to the inside, Herklot slides up the racetrack. Matthew White 3 wide for second place on the bottom, with Ashton Miller going around the outside for second place already. And here's Miller to the inside of the 9. Side by side on the opening lap for the race lead. Here comes Ashton Miller. What a run down on the low side for that 79 car, door-to-door with Benson. They're still side by side. Through the tunnel turn they go for the opening time in Pocono. Matthew White just got nearly put in the wall by Knox Thompson back there. They're 3 wide again. Cameron Chandler on the inside of Cole Clausen as they head into turns 3 and 4 for the opening time. Door-to-door for the race lead. Benson around the outside of Ashton Miller. Benson coming there. He's going to try to get around Miller, and he will clear him. And Bryce Benson, your pole sitter, will lead lap 1. Got a car already coming to pit road. That's Juan Cobb Jr. as they see already snaking here down the front straightaway. Draft is going to be a big key of these races down the straightaways. Miller looking inside again on that 9 machine. Here comes Knox Thompson. He gets slid up the racetrack by Jacob Clarino and Matthew White. Contact between Thompson and Clarino. Definitely not the greatest thing you want to see early in the race like this. At a track that has such a high-speed racetrack like Pocono. Miller up the racetrack. Here comes Christian Herklotz. Trying to get second place back away. What a big block down to the inside for Ashton Miller. Herklots now, he's got Matthew White to his outside. He's headed into 3 and 4. Herklots early in the grass a little bit. Here comes White in the 18 around his outside for P3. Herklots gets in line. Cameron Chandler's coming. Contact again between Clearno and Knox Thompson. All the way down to the inside, trying to snake and break the draft. With Bryce Benton pulling away with this crazy racing behind him. Here's Cameron Chandler on the low side of Cole Clausen. Herklots sliding up the racetrack, Clausen around his outside. Oh, Chandler in the wall! Cameron Chandler crashes with another car. That's Ethan McMillan in the Toyota, and the caution is out for the first time tonight, and Cameron Chandler did not want to see this at all. His race starts exactly the way it ended at Rockingham last week with a crash, and Cameron Chandler, your points leader, in the wall. This is huge. Let's
It
take
looked
a look.
like he overcorrected at the exit of turn 1. I think his back end went out a little bit, tried to save it, and overcorrected and just hit the wall.
We'll see here. Chandler on the inside of Clausen. Oh, and Herklots checks up in front of him. There was contact, and then he overcorrects it, and Ethan McMillan nowhere to go. Let's ride along with Cameron Chandler to see what happened through this accident. This is huge as your championship leader goes around. Riding with Chandler. He doesn't expect Herklots to maybe check up, and yeah, there it is. Just into the back of him a little bit, and around he goes, overcorrects. Just, man. So unfortunate for Cameron Chandler. He has some damage as well on this, his suspension, so coming into this race, only 19 points now above Matthew White after Matthew won at Rockingham and Cameron crashed in the final lap. And yeah, Herklots checks up. He actually got right into by Jacob Clarino, and then nowhere to go for Ethan McMillan. Unbelievable. And the damage on the iCar is not great. Oh, he is disconnected. Yeah.
He's done.
Wow. Unbelievable. Well, talk about golden opportunities for Matthew White now. After winning, like we said, in Rockingham last week, he could just, I don't know, finish top 5. He could be in an incredible point situation with just 3 lap races to go in the season after this one. Wow. Cameron Chandler, that is detrimental to him. I mean, just the checkup, Clarino, nowhere to go. That's unfortunate for him, but really, really good news for Matthew White. I don't think anyone, well, maybe Clarino's pitting here, maybe. I don't know. Clarino, I don't know what he's doing here on the pit road. Okay. There he is. He's coming. A little bit weird. We got Cole Clausen maybe coming back here. Ethan McMillan, who got damage. Nope. Clausen stays out. McMillan pits, Franklin pits, and Juan Cobbs Jr. pits in the back. But Cameron Chandler is going to finish at least last of the cars that started the race. Wow. Just unbelievable. So Bryce Benton, though, continues to lead. Miller's second. Matthew White is third. And you get more points for an iCar win and whatever positions than you do in the NASCAR iRacing, FedEx Cup, Grand National Truck, and other series. So that's also important. Cameron is very, very lucky that this is a much smaller iCar grid than usual. You've had nearly 20 cars for iCar at least for a while. And only 12 today, actually. Still, there's 15, 16 that actually entered. I don't know why only 12 started. But, yeah. So there's Eli Franklin roll off pit road. So Eli, like, what do you think this is like for a guy like Cameron, or even Matthew's perspective? You see the guy that was leading the championship, you cut into that lead a little bit, oh, actually a lot after Rockingham winning that, and then you got another opportunity here.
Yeah, if Cameron Chandler sucks, even Matthew White here, all you have to do is finish inside maybe a top 5, and you make up a ton of points because Cameron Chandler's overcorrection there. But it also, for Cameron Chandler, also helps the fact that there's not a lot of cars racing here, so you'll still gain a little bit of points. But if Matthew White can come out here for top 5, he could be in championship league.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting after this race. The points are going to look crazy. We might have a lead change of the points for the first time all season.
The only way this will work out for Cameron Chandler is if Matthew White has an issue and Rex out. That's his only hope.
Matthew's been very consistent in iCar this season. I don't think he has a DNF this year. Cameron really doesn't either, but that is not what you want to see at all if you're Cameron Chandler. We're going to come to the shoes for the first time today. Brent on the inside. Actually, Miller and Mike White go both outside. They'll give the second row to Herklotz on the bottom, that is. McMillan actually repaired a lot of his damage. That's actually very fortunate for him. It doesn't look like anything really sustained on the 70 after hitting this iCar of Cameron Chandler pretty square on the door. Gonna restart in lap 7 here at Pocono. Tricky Triangle has already delivered a huge storyline, and we're only 6 laps in. All right. I mean, yeah, Cameron Chandler, like a few weeks ago, he looked unstoppable, even by Matthew White. He was winning races, was up front every race, scoring a lot of points. And then the last week at Rockingham was kind of the big turning point, and this is not going to help Cameron's case at all. Might even take him out of the points lead if Matthew White could even win this race. All right, here we go. What Matthew can't afford now is a wreck. That would be detrimental to him. If he wrecks out now, then this is really worthless. This golden opportunity he's got in front of him right now. Of course, still 3 great tracks for Cameron Chandler. 3 tracks that he's won at in the NASCAR Racing FedEx League. Of course, won the Cup race the last 2 seasons at Bristol, which is championship finale. He won the Charlotte 600 before, which is at Charlotte. Of course, is a Grand National and iCar winner at Dover, which is next week. So he's got great opportunities ahead of him. Matthew White doesn't love Dover. He's good at Charlotte. And okay at Bristol. Here we go. Back to green in Pocono on lap 7. Good restart for the inside lane and Bryce Benton. Ashton Miller didn't get going the greatest. Neither did Herklotz, though, on the bottom. As Benton going to clear outside. Here comes Matthew White to the inside of Ashton Miller for second place on the bottom. They're 1 and 2. Ooh, Matthew going to try to maybe slide up the corner. He's going to maybe try to keep it square with Miller as they head side by side down the back straightaway. Benton breaks the draft. Here's that 40 of Thompson around the outside of Matthew White, though. He gets clear from 3rd. How about that? 5 of Cole Clausen as well behind him. He's sliding up to the door of the double zero of Herklotz. Thompson almost gets a little bit tight. Matthew probably isn't too pleased with that. Of course, leaders still cannot make it to the end on field. Here's White. Stay in line with Thompson, at least for now. Down the front straightaway, he'll give a bit of a shove. He'll look to the inside, maybe in turn 1. Here goes the 18. They're 1 and 2. The bottom of the racetrack. Or 3rd place. Oh, cut that again. Matthew White gets pushed to the inside, knocks Thompson, slammed the wall. And now Thompson goes crashing and careening the wall down the back straightaway. Caution is out again. On lap 8.
That was Matthew White that turned him.
Yeah, I don't know if Matthew was too pleased with what Thompson did. I got to get a better angle at this, see ultimately what happens. He said he was side drafting. That's apparently his reason for that. So let's actually start up by looking from the blimp. I think that would give us the best angle at this racetrack. So it starts all the way through down into 2, or 1, the exit of 1, I mean. Thompson just drives it a little bit too deep into the wall. He makes contact with Matthew White twice, and then Matthew comes across and I don't know about that one. Not too much to defend there for Matthew White. Right along with the 18 now to see his angle from the onboard.
And Matthew White's been given an EOL, so he was off the back.
By himself. I guess he kind of felt bad. It's right along now with White. And yeah, Thompson, wasn't very happy with Thompson doing that, but then yeah, there's not too much to defend here, honestly. Unfortunate. Of course, Matthew White's so successful.
You also got one of those guys hit the wall very hard at the exit of 1. How much actually got wheel damage? Because here, in these cars, you hit the wall a little bit, you get some wheel down. Just how fast this track is, it takes heavy bits to take you down.
Well, it's such a small grid at a huge racetrack. We've already had 2 cautions the first 10 laps here at Pocono. So, kind of going with the theme of how iCar has gone this season.
And fuel here would be interesting because we're coming up on about 35 to go, and fuel less 33. So if you could save a couple laps, you can make it. But I don't know if these tires will take it.
Alrighty. So we got cars pitting here. Here comes Ashton Miller. Herklots. Nope. No, never mind. But a lot of other cars coming. Cole Clausen, Eli Franklin, Keaton Shelton, Ethan McMillan, and others. So, yeah, you said if you pit here, you could be close?
You're probably about 3 laps short. But we've seen in real life Kyle Busch be able to save about 4 laps of fuel to be able to win here. So if you can be able to maybe instead of using the brake sensor to corner and use your clutch, you might be able to save enough.
The race off period. I think I was actually at the race you're talking about. Was it 2021 Pocono?
That was the one where he has his I think he was stuck in fourth gear the whole race.
Oh yeah, I was there. He couldn't do a burnout, I don't think. Alright, here's still Bryce Benson leading the race, away from all the chaos that's been going on behind him for some contenders. Benton, of course, in the Cup Series, last couple of weeks before Rockingham weren't the best, but got second place and nearly ran down his teammate Cameron Chandler for the win there. Chandler had the fuel save at the end of the dominant Rockingham race. Cameron still ended up winning it, won his first of the year finally, as he will extend his points lead in the Cup Series. But here in iCar, hasn't been the greatest the last few weeks.
Hopefully these 2 early yellows, the field will calm down. We can finish hopefully green because usually in the Cup races we get 2 to 3 early cautions, and then we go mostly green the rest of the race.
Yeah, there were only 2 cautions in the Cup race, I think. Maybe only 2 cautions, maybe 3 actually, in the Cup race at Rockingham.
I think we had 2 early on and they had the stage break.
Yeah. And tires meant a lot there. Those cars were loose at the end of that race. Coming to the shoes. That's an inside again, outside of the top second and third drivers. But Ethan McMillan just got his front end ripped off, and now he got it repaired somehow, and he's back inside the top 5. It's kind of impressive. Well, the pace truck has led the most laps so far today, but we're going to restart in lap 12. They'll try to change that a little bit. I would say if we get another caution within the next 5 laps, everybody else that needs fill pits.
I'm hoping we go green here because I just took one of the set of tires here. So hopefully go green, and then I can just save and win this race.
We'll see. Yeah. I mean, this strategy stuff is going to come into play all week long today in iCar, and then of course the Cup Series on Thursday. We'll see if we get any sort of strategy wins.
Because the guys that pitted are gonna be close. The guys that stayed out are going with. We're gonna have another caution. Everybody's gonna have to pay because of the tires. The guys that did pit, if they want a chance to save fuel, they have to use the clutch here, especially in these corners.
Yeah, we've seen drivers do that a lot this season already, doing saving fuel with the clutch pushed in. But here we go, gonna restart in lap 12. Bryce Benson has led every lap so far today. A lot of them, though, have been under caution. We'll see if he can get a run going here in Pocono. Matthew White starting in the rear of the field, remember. What can he do to drive his way back up here? Here we go. Pace truck's back in. Matthew White, Ashton Miller, putting each other close down to the inside. Green flag, waving once again. Miller still keeping it outside. They're going to go all the way down to the apron. or the bottom where the checker flag pattern is. Side by side, almost a little bit of contact. Trying to side draft each other. Great restart for Ashton Miller. Around the outside of Bryce Benson he goes. They go side by side into 1 and 2. Miller on the top, trying to get momentum to clear the iCar, but Bryce back to the inside again. They're going to be continuing to side draft each other as they head down the straightaway. He's going to get a run. Maybe Miller can clear him coming to the tunnel turn. No, Benson on the inside going to drive into deep. So he's going to slide Miller up the racetrack. Miller going to maybe have to back out of the guess he will. Got a car in nearly in the wall. That was Eli. To the inside, a crossover though. Looking on the bottom now, Ashton Miller. Here he comes. Oh, he's going to slide Bryce up the racetrack a little bit. Side by side. And Benson clear again on the 79 of Miller. Miller's going to try to drop to the inside, though, once more. Door to door as they head through 1 and 2. Watch Christian Herklots and that 00 machine back there as well. Maybe he can make a play in the wall a little bit, goes the 00, but he's coming to the outside of Ashton Miller for second. Here comes Herklots. Around the top. He's going to get clear on Miller. Now Clarino to the outside of the 79. Miller all of a sudden is falling back. Going to try to challenge that 00 car again. This could be another opportunity for Bryce Benson to try to drive away with his battling for second on back. Miller again on the bottom, losing spots. Almost into the grass a little bit. He'll slide up the racetrack. Ethan McMillan in the wall a little bit as they head down the front stretch again at Pocono Raceway. McMillan coming outside of Miller for fourth. Miller all of a sudden is off the pace. There he is, McMillan going to get in the wall a little bit. Miller going to stay to his inside and actually falls back in line. Look at him snake down the straightaway, trying to use the draft. Ethan McMillan up the racetrack again. Here comes Miller back to his inside. Knox Thompson and Matthew White back there as well. And McMillan's teammate Cole Clausen on the 5. McMillan slides way up the racetrack. Here comes Knox Thompson to his inside. Matthew White down on the inside trying to push that 48 car. Again, the gap now half a second between Benson and Herklots. Here's Miller to the inside of Clarino trying to drive his way back up to the front of the field at least. I hear a bit of saving from somebody. Not exactly sure who it was, though. White to the inside of Thompson. They're side by side, a couple of lanes deep. Miller clearing Clarino. Here is McMillan and Clausen battling. And Clarino way up the racetrack has to back out of the gas a little bit. Gets Clausen or McMillan a little bit tight. We got a 5-car battle here for about 4th place. Oh, and the wall goes Jacob Clarino. He's going to lose like 4 spots here. Falls back to 8th place, and he's coming to pit road. Wow. I think he just parked it as well. What happened to Jacob Clarino? Some sort of issue.
Done.
I don't know. Here's Knox Thompson to the inside of the 70 of McMillan. He's going to slide up the racetrack a little bit. Behind the head of the 18 car of White.
But spotters told me fueling up now should make it. So again, I'm thinking I'm on track to make it, but I don't know what these other guys are. I don't know how much they're saving. They could be saving more than me. I don't know. But if the guys that didn't pit, they're hoping for a caution.
3 wide down in turn 3 here. McMillan on the outside, Thompson in the middle. Here comes Matthew White for a 2-for-1 special on the bottom. Oh, but he gets loose. Has to save the race car. And side by side for 2nd place, here comes Ashton Miller to the inside of Christian Herklots. Down on the low side.
So his night is over.
Not a great start for Chandler Wilson Racing, with Chandler and Clarino both out of the race already. Herklots still holding on to 2nd place, but Ashton Miller is fighting on back. I'm not Not really sure what happened to Miller. Lost 5 spots in 2 laps. Then he's coming back through the field again. Here he is in the bumper of Herklotz for second. So got Matthew White back here to the inside of Thompson for what is now, sorry, that's McMillan for what is now 6th place. Racetrack, White to his door. McMillan going to drop out of the gas, and Matthew White is clearing in P6. Still would be a good points day, but we know Matthew wants more. Maybe he's trying to save a little bit. I heard somebody coasting a few laps ago. I haven't heard anything since. Listen. No, nobody's coasting. Maybe we'll look back here. Eli, you're the only one coasting, by the way.
That's fine. I'll be the one. I'll be the one making it to the end.
See what happens. I mean, a caution could change everything. You never know. But coming to lap 19 this time by.
We do not want that.
Herklotz got a bit of a run on Bryce Benson down the front straightaway.
Especially how long it takes on pit road. Usually, I think actual NASCAR, you can pit and not lose a lap. You lose about 50 seconds.
Oh!
So we'll see how it goes.
Your leader got in the wall, by the way. Here comes Herklotz, trying to challenge Bryce Benson for the first time all day on his bumper, heading to the tunnel turn. Nearly in the wall again for Bryce Benson. He is pushing that thing to the limits. Doesn't look like anyone's saving from this top 4 right now. How about a good run by Cole Clausen in 4th place? Got Ashton Miller on his front bumper now. So lots of saving games going on. We'll see how this goes for the rest of the day. We get a caution now. That changes everything. Most of your leaders come to pit road. Well, probably all your leaders come to pit road and they're good to the end. Nothing else to worry about for your leaders, at least. This thing stays green to the end. That's when things get interesting. We'll see what happens. Top 4, nose to tail here by about half a second. Benson leading, Herklotz 2nd, Miller 3rd, Clausen 4th. Here comes Matthew White to the inside of Knox Thompson for 5th place. Matthew definitely not really saving anything in the 18th car. Here they are, front 4 down the front straightaway. The 20 laps complete in Pocono. He's 25 to go. Here's Herklow. He's going to slide up the racetrack for 1 and 2. Actually opens the door for Ashton Miller, who's inside, door to door for 2nd place. In the wall goes Herklotz. Here comes Miller, clears him, and he's going to back out of it, and we'll let Cole Clausen go as well. Miller back to 2nd, Clausen up to 3rd. The lead extends for Bryce Benson, who's led every lap so far today. Benson's been cutting pretty close to the wall, got into it once. Miller's going to have a run. You get such a run down these straightaways. Of course, lower horsepower with these iCars than we're going to see on Thursday with the Cup cars. These Cup cars are going to be absolutely screaming and flying around here at Pocono Raceway. Upwards of 200 miles an hour. Probably the 2nd fastest racetracks, maybe behind or Michigan, I should say. Michigan might be our fastest track this season in the Cup. Here's Miller, though, trying to battle for the lead yet again. We're on the outside through 1 and through 3 and 4, or 3 at least. I don't really see too many drivers run that high in real life at Pocono, but for some reason the way outside kind of works here in iRacing at this racetrack. Front straightaway yet again. Pocono is such an interesting racetrack. Of course, got 3 very different corners from each other. You got to be focused all race long. Can't make a mistake. Fuel saving is, of course, a big thing here as well. And fuel mileage races also with that. So a lot of things could happen in a race in Pocono when you think everything's all wrapped up. You never know. I've seen in real life Kyle Larson blow a tire on the final corner of the race in 2021. So you never know what could happen here at Pocono Raceway. So keep that in mind for the rest of this race and then on Thursday for the Cup Series. And the lap 24. Long Pond, Pennsylvania. See Matthew White back there running in 5th. I don't know if he's trying to save or not. I haven't listened in real quick. I don't think he's trying to coast. And no coasting for Matthew White. I mean, you don't have to coast to save. You can just not push as hard. Coasting would get you the most. But honestly, Matthew has one of the best speeds. Qualified 5th. The other driver's not even qualifying in this race, and really hasn't had the best speed in the race either. So maybe just not having too great of a race today, or great speed in his race car, I should say. Herklotz was running in 2nd. He's now fallen off the main pack, back and forth. Back here at the McMillan, down the front straightaway, you got Juan Cobbs Jr. in the bumper of Shelton for 8th. You got Eli Franklin back there in 10th, still trying to save some fuel. And Eli, you're coasting in every corner, right?
Yeah, mostly. Sometimes I just coast it first 3 because that feels like that's the corner I take at the same time while coasting in. I lose a little bit in 1 and 2, but turn 3 I can save a lot. I have maybe like once a corner I've been saving. Usually turn 2 I try not to because it messes up the timing of the corners. But right now I think it says I'm about a half to a lap to the good, but I'm gonna keep saving just in case.
Yeah, and that, if you, of course, like if you get to the green area by enough, you can actually start pushing again, and then you won't lose as much time as he is right now. So that's another thing to think about. I know the scoreboard looks like he's falling back a lot every lap, but that'll get evened out once he's able to push again. 20 laps to go here at Pocono Raceway. Bryce Benton has been up front in every lap tonight so far. Looking to do what his Cup Series teammate Cameron Chandler did at Rocky and lead every lap but 1. In the Cup Series, that is. Still underrated how dominant that performance was. I know it didn't look so dominant at the end because he was trapping to save fuel, but my goodness, that iCar was unbelievable. The most dominant car we've seen all season. We haven't seen anyone dominate in the Cup Series this year until what we saw on Thursday with Cameron Chandler. That thing was just absolutely incredible. Nobody could touch it. Bryce Benton still leads Miller 2nd, Clausen 3rd, Herklotz in 4th, White still back in 5th, Thompson 6th, McMillan 7th, you got Shelton in 8th. Juan Cobbs Jr. just falling off the pace a little bit. Oh, he's also trying to save. Just fell behind Eli Franklin. So definitely on the, still a little bit worse in a situation than Franklin is. So Juan Cobbs Jr. and Eli Franklin are the only 2 drivers coasting right now. So those would be 2 first-time winners. If it came down to that. Top 3 nose to tail, not nose to tail, but in line by about half a second down the front straightaway. They're starting to draft back up to each other again. Did hear coasting from some, I'm not, maybe I'm just hearing things, but I'm trying to listen for coasting. We'll listen now. Not really sure where I heard that, but anyways, down the front straightaway with 17 to go now. here in Pocono. Ethan McMillan has fallen off the pace a little bit. Maybe it could be him. I think Benson almost got in the wall a little bit. Ashton Miller's got to run here down the backstretch. See any of these top three saving anything, it looks like Benton, Miller, and Clausen. So maybe they're just too far off to even think about saving. I don't know. I'm gonna 16 laps to go in Pocono. Like we said, if a caution comes out right this second, everyone pits. There's no more fuel talk for the rest of the race. Bryce Benton doesn't want to lose this one. He's led every single lap, and he hasn't really pulled away or anything like that. Probably a lot of because of the draft situation here at Pocono Raceway, but incredible qualifying lap put him on pole. Nobody has been really able to pass him so far today.
Must be saving, or the dam's just starting to get to him because he's really off the pace.
Is that McMillan you're talking about?
Yep. And Bryce Benson's pitted.
Oh. Here comes Benson in the 9 to pit road. Or that's a little bit early, I would say. I don't know about this call.
Probably early enough to where he can use tires and get a benefit of gaining time.
I mean, I honestly would wait for maybe to see if caution comes out. I don't know. Bryce Benson, your first leader on pit.
If a caution comes out maybe the next 3 or 4 laps, he will be back to he will be the leader because everybody else will have to pit.
I guess. I don't know. It's an interesting situation. Not really sure how it's going to work out. Here comes Herklot. It's got pressure from Matthew White. Here is Benson getting service. Probably 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Here he comes rolling away. As much fuel as he needs to make it to the end of the race. He will roll off pit road. I don't know if I just heard Ashton Miller saving. He's got Cole Clausen on his bumper down the front straightaway. He's now your leader.
Here comes. I think Ashton Miller says he's coming next time or this time.
He's stay on the racetrack, coming to 14 to go this time by. Of course, these guys haven't pitted yet. Matthew White, Eli Franklin, Juan Cobbs Jr. are guys that have pitted, so that's why they're. I don't know if Matthew's saving or not, but I might have heard something with him. And Knox Thompson as well. But Herklotz, Clausen, Miller, they definitely can't save to make it. They haven't been on pit road at all in this race so far. Let's listen with Matthew White. I don't know, because Herklotz is right there. I can't really tell. Actually, let's probably ride along with him. That's a good idea. Let's listen. Yep, he's coasting 3 and 4, or 3. And Knox Thompson is doing, I believe, the same. Not 100% sure of that.
It's like Herklotz down pit road.
Christian Herklotz, who was running second earlier in the 00, started second. Here he is to pit this time by. And now we got a battle here. McMillan, Shelton to his inside. Here's Franklin. Where is Bryce Benton? There he is on fresh tires. So Bryce gonna have to push to the end of the race and hope for some sort of miracle. I mean, tires wouldn't mean the most, I don't think, at Pocono, unlike a track like Rockingham or Atlanta. But they would definitely mean something. We'll see what Bryce can do here compared to Herklotz. This kind of be a good test. He should be way out in front of him if that means anything, but if he's just maybe, yeah, I don't know. Tires don't mean a ton. I think, I mean, actually, that's kind of a decent gap. Maybe about a corner.
And the leader's down pit road.
That's Ashton Miller. Here he comes with, that's Knox Thompson as well, who I thought was saving, but I guess can't make it to the end. He'll come to pit, 12 to go now. We got also, that's Keaton Shelton pitting in the 17 car. Think about it for these guys like Benson. Can they catch drivers that are trying to save? I don't know. Miller getting service with Knox Thompson. There's Eli continuing to try to post and save. Here comes Miller off pit road. And Knox Thompson behind him. Oh, Pete Shelton has back it up there. Here is Cole Clausen, your current leader. He will stay out. Matthew White again staying out. Eli Franklin's taken over third. Juan Cobbs is fourth. Ethan McMillan is fifth. Clausen continues to stay out with now 11 laps to go in Pocono. Clausen is not saving. Matthew White is. You think for the gap, right now it's about to Miller. Miller actually came out in front of Bryce Benson. How about that? Wow. A stop at the 79. Maybe probably taking less fuel, but still. 2 seconds of gap. That is, wow. Okay. The gap's still about 30 seconds between him and Matthew White. So it would take a lot. So we'll see how the rest of this race plays out. Is this a golden opportunity for Matthew White?
It's because Ashton took 2 tires.
Oh.
He said Rage took 2 tires.
That would be giving him a less of a tire advantage as well, but does that matter too much? Coming to 10 to go this time by. Cole Clausen continues to stay out. As Matthew White is able to save enough fuel to make it to the end. Clausen isn't pushing hard, I don't think, down into 1 and 2, but isn't coasting. So how will the rest of this one play out? Only 10 laps to go, and Matthew White is having an absolute blinking fest behind these guys. And Miller hasn't really closed up anything, even with Clausen maybe trying to save something, and same thing with Matthew White. That gap has just not really closed up too much. Will Clausen pit? I would assume so. I don't think he's been down pit road in this race. I don't think he has. Matthew has. I think Clausen is the last driver that hasn't been on pit road yet today. And Matthew White's on his bumper here for the lead. On pure pace. I mean, this would be huge for White to get a win here. After what Cameron Chandler went through early in the race, this could give him the points lead even. I think it would. Pretty sure it would, yeah. Also got some other bonus points in iCar, like winning the pole, getting the fastest lap. I think leading the most laps as well. It wouldn't get, I don't think any of those maybe the fastest lap, but here it comes to the outside of Clausen with 9 to go for the lead. Door to door, side by side for the top spot on the racetrack here, as they head side by side down the front straightaway.
Ashton's asking if I can make it. I don't want to say 100% yes to him.
Yeah, they are
he is closing very quickly, but feels still it's close for me. I thought maybe save a little bit more right now, but only still like half a lap to the good.
Matthew White is now clear into the race lead. So, does he have enough fuel to make it? That's our question now. Clausen we don't think does. We think Clausen has to pit. Okay. White is still saving. I believe. Yeah, coasting through 3 and 4, or 3, I should say. But just 7 to go this time by in Pocono. Cutting it all the way down low. The gap now only 28 seconds between him and Master Miller. That would not be, at this pace at least, this would not even be close for enough for Ashton Miller to catch many people. Cobbs is back up to pay, or maybe saving a little bit. Miller just pitted, of course, on full song.
Caution's out.
Oh my god, wow, that changes everything, and around goes Christian Herklotz with Knox Thompson. What happened here? This changes everything. Oh my goodness.
And also for these guys that paid before, like Bryce Benson, do you come down, take fresh tires, or do you stay out?
See what happens on the wreck here. Oh, Knox Thompson just drives to the quarter panel. The double zero for Herklotz spins him around. Then Herklotz comes around again to spin that 48 car, and he saves it ultimately. That, oh my goodness. Wow. I mean, who would have thought all of a sudden? He was on the bumper of it. He was actually pushing Herklotz. And then just...
Well, that sucks for my strategy, because I don't know if I could have won, but I was at least getting top 3 if they had a pit.
I mean, it's not over yet. Anything could happen at the end of this one. There's the caution that comes out. That's just 6 laps to go now. How about that? Well, I don't really know what to expect now. I was somewhat clear what was going to happen, but now, who knows? Who's going to pit? Who's going to not? I'm not really sure. Okay. Well, this just got very interesting with 6 to go. Caution is out. How will this race finish out? This is going to be really interesting.
If these guys do pit, they just take 2 tires, because we saw Ashton Miller 2 tires hang on very well with only 2 compared to Bryce Benson's 4.
I honestly don't know. All right. So we're about to get our questions answered here for pit road at least. As we're gonna come to 5 to go this time by, probably restart with that 4 or 3 to go. So will White stay out? No, he's pitting. Here we go. Everybody on pit road besides Ashton Miller. No, Benson stays out. So does Herklotz, who spun. That's a pretty interesting deal there, but here they come. Matthew White, first one on the pit road with Cole Clausen. Thought about staying out, but comes. Gotta be a quick stop here if you want to get out first of this group. Will it be 4 tires, maybe 2 tires, who knows? No, 2 tires for Matthew White. Here he comes off pit road first. Cole Clausen is taking 4. 2 tires looked pretty good. I mean, tires don't mean a ton here at Pocono. Cole Clausen off 2nd, Eli Franklin off 3rd, Juan Cobbs. They got Knox Thompson and Ethan McMillan. So we're going to come to 1 to go this time by for the choose. That'll be 4 to go. And then we'll restart with only 3 to go in Pocono here. So buckle up. This could be wild. And Ashton Miller will restart with the lead. Benson will be 2nd. Herklotz will be 3rd. New tires, at least for the right side, for the 18 of Matthew White. But how much do those actually mean?
You also got to think those old tires with the chance for wheel spin.
I mean, we're about to get all of our questions answered for the restart now. And also for the choose. How will that go? It's been a pretty interesting race if you're into strategy. But now, all that strategy is done. We got a race to settle with 3 to go for a restart. But coming up now down the front straightaway will be the choose cone for maybe the final time today. There's another caution. We got 1 overtime after that to settle it. Alrighty, here we go. Time for lane choice. Miller obviously goes inside, but yeah, that'll give Benson the outside to 2nd row. Going to be Herklotz White. So not, I mean, maybe Herklotz going not outside, going to be a little bit different. Got to keep Shelton, the 17, coming off.
That's got to think how much will Christian Herklotz, will Cole Clausen, who's going to be the first guy to take a 3 bottom on the bottom here.
I mean, it's such a long ways from the restart down to turn 1, so you still have to be across the start-finish line to make a move, but there's still a long ways even after that to make something happen. You see it time and time again, wrecks into turn 1 and Pocono restarts. Haven't seen one tonight yet, but is this the time with 3 to go? So this is not a green-white checker. It is not an overtime attempt. But if we get another caution, that'll be the final restart of the day. Well, it's been a pretty fun one tonight so far at Pocono Raceway. A lot of strategy, but that strategy, it's all finished, and we're ready to get a race settled here. 3 laps to decide the Season 3 iCar race at Pocono. Matthew White doesn't want to get involved in a wreck here because even if he crashes out, he's only going to finish 2 spots better than Cameron Chandler if he finished last. But the car's still running on the racetrack. Here we go. Get ready for this finish with just 3 laps to go at the Tricky Triangle. How aggressive are people willing to get on this restart here? Ashton Miller, Bryce Benton in the front row. Pace truck is in. Top 3 didn't pit. Tires don't mean a ton, though. What kind of restart can Miller get? A good one, it looks like. Green flag back in the air. 3 laps to go in Pocono. Miller already clear on Benton. He will be outside and clear of that 9 car as they will head down into turn 1. You see Matthew White around the outside trying to go 3 wide around Herklotz to the outside of the 9 at Benton as well. He'll slide up through 1 and 2. Oh, Miller up the racetrack. White is going to be maybe clearing a 3rd. It looks like he is. But here comes Benton all the way down on the inside to the outside as well. White also involved. Here comes Bryce Benton round the outside of Ashton Miller. And Benton clear to the race lead. Contact Matthew White up the racetrack. Oh my goodness. He's up the racetrack in the wall. And they're 3 wide again. He nearly got turned head onto the fence. Luckily he doesn't. But he's going to fall back to the field, it looks like, and have to try to recover. But up front, Bryce Benton just got a half-second gap coming to 2 to go, this time by. What a restart by the 9. Now Matthew White to the inside of a 5 Clausen for 4th place. Side by side back at a 1 and 2. Miller, not the best of, got a great jump initially, but first 2 corners were terrible for the 79 car, and he just allowed the 9 to get around him. Coming to the tunnel turn for the 2nd to last time at Pocono. Matthew White to the inside of the 5 at Clausen will clear him in the 4th. Can Ashton Miller try to run down this 9 car, Bryce Benton? Through turn 3. Coming to the white flag, this time by. 1 lap to go in Pocono. Matthew White almost crashing down the front straightaway, but here we go. White flag in the air, final lap underway. From the Tricky Triangle. Breaking the draft all the way down the front straightaway and coming to 1 and 2 for the final time. Bryce Benton started on pole. An incredible lap. Strategy nearly cost him the race, but he's got 2 more corners to go on the wall. That it's 79 to Miller. Oh, and they're wrecking in the back. Eli Franklin on the wall with, I believe that's Ethan McMillan. Final time through the tunnel turn. Benton just does not have to make a mistake. He goes a little bit tight in the wall. Has to break the draft for the final time. Coming to the turn 3. 1 more chance for Ashton Miller. Here he is at the bottom. Drives into deep. Off turn 3. Miller up the racetrack. It will not happen. Bryce Benton going to see the checkered flag. He is going to win in Pocono. Matthew White crashes across the line. Oh my goodness, he's going to finish 8th. Maybe. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's not what Matthew wanted to see, but Bryce Benton gets the job done in Pocono. Matthew White finishes 8th. I mean, that's still okay points, but that could have been a lot better for him. What a drive, what a pass there with 3 to go for the 9 car of Bryce Benton. Get the job done tonight in Pocono. Your race winner from Pocono Raceway and iCar. This is Bryce's 3rd win of the season. He is still way out of championship contention. That's over now. 3 races to go, but still a good day. Bryce Benton, your winner in Pocono. That one got wild. But it's over. And the 9 is your victorious driver tonight. And he will burn it down. A great way to start off his week for the NASCAR Racing FedEx League. Would love to do the same thing in the Cup Series as well. I'm going to try the wheel stand down here on the front straightaway. We've seen a lot of drivers try to attempt the long wheel stand, and seen Denny Hamlin do it in real life here at Pocono. See how far Bryce can get. I mean, at least if we can get to the front, the start-finish line, that would be impressive. No, can't even. They're gonna be close, but not terrible. Not the best. We've seen a lot better, but I mean, it's for now. As he'll burn it down here on the front straightaway. Your winner in Pocono, Bryce Benson. What a day. Bryce Benson wins from Pocono Raceway. And that will do it. That was ultimately a very fun one. Eli, what happened there at the end with you guys?
Spotter said that I was only calling the inside, and I didn't realize the guy got to my outside, and I came up and kind of turned myself. That one was on me, but I thought it was clear. Spotter said it was clear, but apparently I wasn't.
Well, still ultimately a top 10 there at the end. Pretty wild race here at Pocono. Yeah, Matthew White finishes 8th. That's not the greatest for him. I will have to see how the points look after this. Because,
He had a chance at top five. He was behind top next Knox Thompson for fourth there. So 3 spots. That's a couple extra points he could have gained, and it could be the difference between Matthew White having a little bit of points lead to Cameron Chandler probably tied or maybe just behind him.
yeah, I mean, Matthew was almost wrecked about like other times. There on the final couple of laps. Finally went away through turns 3 on the last lap. So, but yeah, that was a good one. Bryce Benson, definitely happy you got the victory lane here. Exactly the way you want to start off your week, with a victory in iCar. Of course, they all get off tomorrow. All right, wait for Bryce Benson to get himself in here, and we'll have post-race interviews coming up from the Tricky Triangle.
I thought we had a chance there to win it. If caution didn't come out there, I think we had a chance there because we're still saving a little bit, and we're winning P3. I'm pretty sure the top two would still have to pit. So it doesn't matter if Ashton Miller can run me down, which I think he might have got there, but at that point we would have been going. So I mean, bad luck at the end of the day. It's a good strategy call, but it's whatever at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that can also that shows how strategy can just do so much here at Pocono Raceway. Uh, Fortunately, we originally had a deal for Eli to run Pocono on Thursday for his Cup debut. Fortunately, that won't be happening this week at least. See him in a future Cup race pretty soon. But, you know, any other driver could attempt that in the Cup Series and maybe get their first win. All right, Bryce Benson is taking 1,000 years to come here for a post-race interview. We'll give him another maybe 30 seconds. It's 9. Gets the job done tonight for Pocono Raceway. His 3rd win of the season ties what he has in the Cup Series this year. All right, Bryce is just electing not to come in for now. We'll start off interviews with Knox Thompson. Knox Thompson, you guys finished in 4th today. Ultimately, not a bad day. You got turned early on with Matthew White. Can you give us an update what happened there and ultimately how you rebounded?
Well, the incident with Matthew was not really good. He put me in the wall, then turned and then I tried to save it. Then after I save it, he comes up, kills me. Uh, after everything that happened that race, happy for a P4.
I mean, yeah, 4th place finish here. I know there isn't any Grand National race this week, but will we see you in the Cup Series here at Pocono on Thursday?
I don't know. Depends if I can find a team, but I'd like to apologize to Herklotz. I didn't know he was going to come down like that. I was right under him, barely. I tried to check up, but there was no more time. The incident with Matthew, he wrecked me, so I gave him a little bump at the end and turned him around. Kind of it was unfortunate, but it's over. The race is over with, and I hope this doesn't carry on to later.
All right, Knox. Well, still nice job finishing top 5 here at Pocono Raceway, and if you guys can get a deal worked out, we'll see you maybe on Thursday for the Cup race. And that's, I think, everybody. I don't think Price is, for some reason, doing an interview here. Well, Eli, pretty fun one tonight at Pocono Raceway with strategy, a good race there at the end, a good battle, and then Bryce Benton comes out on top here for the victory. Any final thoughts on this one in iCar? Oh,
That
actually,
was a
he's,
good one. Oh, there he is. Speaking
yep.
of your winner.
Here comes Bryce Benton. A little bit late, but better late than never. In victory lane now, I guess. Bryce Benton, what a race for you guys. Incredible qualifying lap. Put you guys up front. You led the most laps in this one. And what a race at the end there. You thought maybe you're out of contention for the win, but caution comes out. You restart with 3 to go. How did you take the lead over from Ashton Miller there on the outside lane and take home the victory?
Yeah, I was planning to get him on the inside off of turn 1 or turn 2, whatever it is. But yeah, and then he went to block it, so I just went to the top, and pretty risky move because I almost took myself on white. But yeah, it was a good move. I think if we had an extra lap though, if we had one more lap, I think Ashton would have got me though because he was still faster. I think on that little stint we had before the caution came out, he saved tires a little bit better, and I have no clue how he had that pace on 2 tires. But yeah, good for him to have that pace. But yeah, I definitely was concerned. I knew I had the advantage because I had the lead and I was gonna be able to air block, but he was just a lot faster. Mainly out of turn 1, he was just a lot faster on that exit because I was just kind of plowing. And yeah, I think if we had one more lap, he probably would have got me on the exit there or something, maybe down the straightaway into the tunnel turn, but. Yeah, just kind of worked out. Definitely, I feel like I probably shouldn't have won after how the strategy went. I think we did really good with our pace. I think we were probably one of the fastest today, but strategy almost didn't work out. But we just kind of got lucky. But yeah, I think overall good race from the team, and yeah, we'll move on to cup.
Yeah, of course, the Cup race coming up on Thursday, nothing tomorrow. But after what you guys, the pace you showed tonight, incredible. Probably the fastest car all day long. How much confidence does that give you guys going into the Cup Series race on Thursday here at Pocono?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does give me some confidence. I mean, I wouldn't consider Pocono a really good track for me, but yeah, it definitely surprised me that I had the pace tonight to have the wizard to get the win. So yeah, I mean that shows that I do have it in me at Pocono, and I think we could definitely have a good race in the higher horsepower Gen 4s. I think we should be able to do pretty well. So yeah, we'll just see how that goes. Honestly, could go any way to be honest with how my SCS season's gone. So yeah, hopefully we can bounce back on some rough races. Obviously, we got to get finished at Rockingham, but we still need to bounce back on those rough races we had before that. So yeah, we'll see what we can do.
All right, Bryce. Well, of course, big congrats on the win. Your third of the iCar Pro Series season. Have fun celebrating this one. Enjoy the day off tomorrow night for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League, and we will see you on Thursday for the Cup race here at Pocono.
Yep.
All right, now, Eli, any, of course, go back on your final thoughts.
Yeah, it was a great race. Yeah, again, usually I don't know what it is about the past couple races and this season. Usually we have a couple cautions early on, maybe the first 15 laps we get cautions, and after that usually go green. So for Cup guys that maybe don't have any pace for Thursday, take the opportunity that like I had a chance there to win. Now, if I had the pace or not, I don't know. But the guys for Cup maybe at the end of stage 1, the caution comes out early on, and you're like maybe 2 or 3 laps short on fuel. Most guys stay out, take the opportunity to take fuel, and anything can happen. It's easy to save at this track. You can easily save 2 to 3 laps easily for about a 30 lap run for fuel. So, I mean, it could be not like that and be Bryce Benson, Matthew White, all those guys for the win. or we could have one of those guys that's saving the field to have a win here at Pocono. It's an interesting track. Good. It's a very good track for these guys.
Yeah, we will see how it all plays out on Thursday night. Of course, nothing tomorrow night in the league. They get the day off here at Pocono, no Grand National. That means we'll be back on Thursday night for the NASCAR iRacing FedEx Cup Series, race number 9 of the season at Pocono Raceway. So that'll do it. We hope you enjoyed the iCar race. Congratulations to Bryce Benson. We will see you on Thursday for the Cup race here at Pocono Raceway. And cut.